All right, today we're diving into a topic that can really make or break a teacher's year, classroom management. But what if we could totally flip the script on that? What if we could turn that stress into your greatest strength? Well, we're going to do just that, using insights from Dr. Sabuj Ahmed's work to build a system that stops problems before they even start. Let's get right into it.
So think about it for a second. What really makes a classroom thrive? Is it just silent rows of students or, perfect unquestioning obedience? The truth is, it's something way more vibrant and alive. It's a space where every single student feels seen, heard, and actually excited to learn. The real question is, how on earth do we create that kind of environment?
The first big idea here is a total shift in perspective. I want you to forget the idea of a classroom as just a room with desks and a whiteboard. Instead, picture it as a living, breathing ecosystem. Yeah, an ecosystem full of complex interactions and all these hidden connections.
And this ecosystem is made up of 4 key elements. You've got your students, obviously, each with their own unique background and personality. Then there's you, the teacher. You're the one who basically sets the weather in the room. The physical space itself can either invite learning or, let's be honest, create chaos. And finally, you have all those invisible forces students bring in with them from the outside world. The real magic happens when you start to see how all these pieces fit together.
With so many moving parts, it's easy for this ecosystem to feel, well, chaotic. So, how do we bring some order to all this complexity? We need a plan, right? A blueprint. And the one we're going to explore today is both simple and incredibly powerful. We're going to build a pyramid of proactive management, where each layer provides a rock-solid foundation for the next.
Just like any strong building, our pyramid has to have a solid foundation. In the classroom, this means we've got to shift from that firefighter mentality, constantly putting out fires, to more of an architect's mindset. We're going to design a classroom that's so well built that most problems never even get a chance to ignite. So what are the cornerstones of this foundation?
Our foundation is built on 3 essential pillars. First up, we need clear, positive rules that everyone, and I mean everyone, understands and actually buys into. Second, we need to design a physical space that's a launchpad for learning, not a playground for distractions. And third, we need to become masters of time, creating a smooth, predictable flow to our day. When these 3 things are in place, you've built an incredible base for a thriving classroom.
Now, check this out. It's a simple but really profound shift in how we think about rules. Think about it. When we say, don't run, what's the first thing a kid thinks about? Running. But when we say, use your walking feet, we're painting a crystal clear picture of the behavior we actually want to see. It's such a subtle change in language, but trust me, it can completely transform the energy in your classroom.
So, we've laid our foundation of rules, space, and time. But a house is just a building until people move in and make it a home, right? Well, the same is true for our pyramid. The next layer, the one that gives it life and real strength, is all about human connection. Because let's be honest, rules and routines are just words on a page until they're powered by positive relationships.
This quote from Dr. Ahmed just nails it. Think about it for yourself. When was the last time you were willing to go the extra mile for someone you didn't trust or respect? It's exactly the same for our students. When they know deep down that we're in their corner, that we see them and we value them, everything changes. That trust is the secret ingredient that makes a classroom truly magical.
So how do we actually build this trust? It's not about grand, heroic gestures. It's all about the small, everyday moments. It's remembering that one student loves a particular video game and asking them about it. It's that warm smile and good morning at the door every single day, no matter what. It's about putting down your pen and really listening when a student has something to say. These are the small investments that yield the biggest returns, for sure.
Okay, so we have a solid foundation and we're building strong relationships. We've created a safe and predictable space. Now, it's time to light the fire. We need to give our students something to be excited about, something to really sink their teeth into. And that's where our third layer comes in, engaging instruction. This is the engine that's going to power our classroom to a whole new level.
Here's a radical idea for you. What if the best classroom management tool isn't a behavior chart or a list of consequences? What if it's a lesson so engaging, so captivating, that students just don't have time to misbehave? Boredom is the kryptonite of a well-managed classroom. When we ignite our students' curiosity, we're not just teaching them content, we're creating a classroom that practically runs itself.
So, what's the recipe for an unforgettable lesson? It's actually simpler than you might think. You start with a hook, something that just grabs your students' attention and makes them lean in.
Then you move into the main activity, where they get their hands dirty and really grapple with the material. And finally, you wrap it all up with a closure, giving them a chance to reflect on what they've learned and lock it in. It's a simple formula, but man, it can turn any lesson into an adventure.
So, we've built this strong, proactive pyramid. But let's be real, we're working with human beings, and sometimes things will go off track. It happens. That's why we need one final layer to our pyramid, the very top. A clear, consistent plan for when we do need to step in. This isn't our first line of defense, remember, it's our last. But it's a crucial one to have in our back pocket.
And this brings us to a really important idea, the logical consequence. Now, this isn't about punishment, it's about teaching. A logical consequence is directly tied to the behavior. So, if a student draws on their desk, the logical consequence isn't taking away their recess. No, it's having them clean the desk. It's a simple but super powerful way to help students connect their actions to their outcomes.
When misbehavior does happen, our response needs to be calm, cool, and collected. Think of it as a gentle escalation. We start with the softest touch, a simple look, maybe just standing nearby. If that doesn't work, we move to a private, respectful redirection. And only if we absolutely need to, do we implement that logical consequence. And then, and this might be the most important step of all, we always circle back later when things are calm to have a real conversation about what happened and why.
Look, building this pyramid is a marathon, not a sprint. And as teachers, we're often so focused on taking care of our students that we completely forget to take care of ourselves. But here's the truth. You are the most important person in your classroom. Taking care of your own well-being isn't selfish. It's a non-negotiable part of being an effective teacher. You just can't pour from an empty cup.
So there you have it, the pyramid of proactive classroom management, a strong foundation, supportive relationships, engaging lessons, and a plan for when things go wrong. Now, I want you to think about your own classroom. What's one block in your pyramid, just one small change you can make that you can strengthen starting tomorrow? Because the journey to a thriving classroom really does start with a single step. Thanks for tuning in.